Okay, students, let's just start. So basically, we are going to start like as we were doing the previous chapters, right? So today we are going to start with a very fresh chapter, which is your supply. Okay. Now, as we have already done this introduction and this chapter, so over here we have covered demand chapter, right? Now coming to unit third. Over here, unit third is basically like you have so many chapters like producer behavior and so many. And at last, you have one chapter which is supply. All right, as we have done demand chapter, so I just want to teach you supply because they are totally opposite. Whatever we studied in demand chapter, everything opposite will be studying in supply chapter. So let's just start with this. So first of all, before starting with the supply chapter, you will write the syllabus like in supply chapter what we are going to study. Okay, so first of all, you will write chapter supply, and this is your syllabus. You will write supply. Over there in supply chapter, you are going to study what is supply, market supply, determinants of supply, supply schedule, supply curve and its slope, movement along and shift in supply curve, price elasticity of the supply, measurement of price elasticity of supply, and percentage change method. So these are basically the things which we are going to study in supply chapter, right? So over here, how we will be covering it? First of all, we will be doing the theory portion, and after that, we'll be doing the this price elasticity chapter, which is numerical chapter. Okay, so you can quickly write chapter supply, and this is your syllabus. So when we'll be covering all the things, you will just mark them. Okay, we are done with this thing. Okay, quickly write it down, and once you are done, let me know, ma'am, we are done.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay, so let's just start with the chapter basically. Okay, so as this chapter is as simple, first of all, we need to understand what this chapter is demanding basically, right? So coming to the, these are the handwritten notes which we'll be referring. Okay, so this is the chapter. So first of all, the question is, ma'am, what is supply, right? So supply refers to the quantity of good a producer or a seller or a firm. So basically, there are three people, or you can say three department who do supply, right? For example, there's a relation. Demand is done by consumer and supply is always done by the producer or the seller or by the firm. Okay. So what is supply? Supply refers to the quantity of good, right? So supply is nothing. It's a quantity of good. Now, what is that good? So a producer or a seller or a firm is willing to sell in the market at a given price and a given period of time, right? So that is the supply. For example, if I'm supplying maybe winter clothes, right? So that means I am the supply. I am either a producer or a seller or a firm, right? And I am willing to sell that product at a given price, right? Sometimes, for example, you went to a shop, right? There we do bargaining, right? So at that time, he's saying that I'll be charging you 100 rupees, but you are saying, no, I just want it for 50 rupees, right? So if I am not willing to sell you the product at the given price, so that means I will not supply that product to you, right? But if a producer, a seller, or a firm, they are willing to sell that product at their do condition. One is given price and a given period of time. Time like within this. For example, in winter time, you will be getting woolen clothes. In summer time, you will be getting the cotton clothes, right? So period of, right? So this is what, right? So what is supply? Supply is basically the quantity of good a producer or a seller or a firm is willing to sell in the market at a given point of time and at a given price. Okay. Now, from the supply, there come two terms. One is stock and one is supply. So, most of the time, students get confused between stock and supply. So, first of all, what is stock? So, stock refers to total quantity of the commodity which is available with the producer or a firm at a particular point of time. So, for example, over here, what you are doing, you are somewhere like you are producing chocolates, right? So, these are, you have 4 chocolates with you. So, this is the stock, right? This is stock with you, right? But ma'am, when the stock becomes supply, so supply is basically the when you want to sell this. Right now, you produced it and you kept it with you. So that means you have the stock, right? But the moment you decided to sell it in the market, it will become supply. Getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So basically, stock is like you have all the material, but the moment you decide to sell that product in the market, right? The supply is that part of stock which the firm or a producer, anything is willing to sell in the market at a particular price during a particular time. So it becomes supply. Your stock automatically becomes supply. So sometimes the question comes whether supply is a part of stock or stock is a part of supply. So remember, supply is a part of stock, not stock is the part of supply. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as we did law of demand, right? Now it is law of supply. What law of demand was saying? See, being a consumer, we all are consumer, right? What is the relationship between price and demand? If price will increase, you will demand less. If price will fall down, you will demand more, right? That was law of demand, right? But now law of supply. Right now you have to think with the point of view of producer, right? You will sell when the prices are really high because you want to earn profit. You are not a consumer anymore, you are a producer right now. So producer always think whenever there is a benefit for the producer if the prices are high, right? So according to law of supply, the law of supply states that other thing being constant, there is a direct relationship. Direct relationship means positive relationship. If price will increase, supply will also increase. If price will fall down, supply will also fall down. This is a direct relationship. Okay. Indirect is one will go up, one will come down. One will go down, one will come up. Right. That was demand and price. Law of demand it is. Right. So the law of supply states that other things being constant, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supply. That is, an increase in price of a commodity leads to increase in quantity supplied of a commodity. Now, as you Ritika did quantity the demand chapter with me, so she is aware why I am using this quantity supply term instead of just supply term, right? Remember one thing: what your supply is not only being affected by one factor, right? There, like, it's not only price because of which your supply will be affected. There are many other factors like price of input, government taxes, government subsidies. So many factors are there. So remember one thing: when your supply will be affected due to price, at that time you will not simply say supply, you will say it is quantity supplied. Clear? But if your supply is being affected by other factor like change in season, change in price of input, prices of other commodity like this income and all that, so you will only say this is supply. Okay. But if you are talking, if your supply is being affected by the price, what you will say? You will say it is a quantity supply, not simple supply. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so over here law of supply is saying it's a direct relationship between price and quantity supply. Why I didn't write supply? Because here I am talking about price. So whenever the word price will come and because of price the supply will be affected, you will not say it is a supply. You will say it is a quantity supplied or quantity supply. Clear? So this is what. So what is law of supply saying? Law of supply is saying that the other things. Other things means other factors. Okay. Other thing being constant, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supply. This is that is, which means that if there is an increase in price of a commodity, right, there will be increase in the quantity supply of the commodity, and here you will write V. VV means vice versa. Vice versa means if there is a decrease in quantity price of a commodity, then there will be decrease in quantity supply of a commodity. Clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chainab is also here. Okay. Now coming to assumption. So whenever we do law of supply or the law of demand, whatever it is, we have some assumption. So over here, as I already told you, there is an assumption that other factors or other things, they will be constant, right? Only then you will only talk about these two things, price and supply. So this is assumption. Other things being constant, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supply. So this F means factors. PX means price, right? T is technology change. It can be latest or outdated. PI is basically price of input. GP is basically government policies. Okay. PO is basically price of other goods. Just ignore N, which I will tell you later on. Okay, this is what. So remember one thing. If you are talking about price, right? So it means that you are only talking about price, right? Other things like technology, price of input, government policy, price of other good, they will remain constant. So when you have to show they are constant, you will put a bar like this. This automatically show that these factors are constant. They will not change, but only price will change because you are not putting bar above this price, right? So this is what. This is the assumption when you do law of supply. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Others, Ritika and Janab getting it? Okay. So first of all, now you will write it. Okay. So first of all, you will put a heading chapter theory of supply. Okay. Then you will first write how we make notes, other notes, but this is for Sayed. We write hashtag supply. Then you will write this till here. Okay. Then you will write hashtag stock and supply. So first you will write stock. You will write you will write differentiate between stock and supply. Okay. Then you will write about stock and supply. Clear? Stock points and the supply point. Then you will write again, there will be a hashtag for you, right? Then that will be law of supply. You will write this and then hashtag assumption. Then you will write it till here. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
And in
Yes,
case, first
ma'am.
of all, you will put chapter theory of supply. Okay. And then this. Do it and write it down. When you are writing it, just read it loud, because in case if you are not getting any line or you have any confusion, you can ask me then and there. Okay. Once you are
Okay,
done, you
ma'am.
can just let me. You can ask me to scroll it down.
Ma'am, then you can scroll down. Ma'am, done. Ma'am, can you explain law of supply again?
Okay, sir. See, law of supply, it's a law, right? So right now you don't have to think about anything. It's simply the law. Okay, so ma'am, what is this law basically? So law, it's this law simply say it's tell you what is the relationship between supply and the price, right? Sometimes we say na that it is a law in our country that we should do this, right? Every country has their own law. Every school has their rules and regulation, right? So similarly, there is a law for a supply, right, in relation to your price. So law of supply simply means that other thing being constant, there is a direct relationship between price of a commodity, right, and quantity supply. Okay, that means if price of a commodity will increase, right, it leads to increase in quantity supplied of a commodity. And I already mentioned you why we are not writing only supply, why we are writing quantity supply, right? So it is because when we are talking in context of price, right, as I already told you, there are so many factors like price and you can say technical changes, technological changes are there, price of import is there, government policies are so many factors. But when your supply will be affected due to your price, it is known as quantity supply, right? So it's a law. Now what is this law? This law basically tells you when other things are being constant, there is a direct relation. So you have to learn this, that law of supply states that there is indirect relationship or direct relationship. So there is a direct relationship between whom? Between price and quantity supply, right? So if price will increase, so supply will also increase. If price will fall, then supply will also fall for that commodity. Clear?
So, ma'am, clear.
Okay, girls, is it clear to you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope you people were writing assumption. You can write it down and let me know once you are done. Then we'll start with the next topic.
I am completed.
Done, students? Others? Sayed? You are not audible, students. You have to be loud. Sayed, you are done? Janab? Okay. Sayed?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. So now let's just do the next topic, which is basically the individual supply and the market supply. See, over here, only the words you are going to jumble. Other things is going to be same throughout. Okay. So it is individual supply and it is market supply. So individual means one to one and market means all together. So other things being constant, when there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supply of the commodity by a single seller, that is your individual supply, right? Here, other thing being constant, it shows an direct relationship between price and Q supply is quantity supply of a commodity by all the sellers in the market. So market supply is basically you are not supplying only one product. You are supplying the whole, like you are representing the whole commodity, whole community, right? So the only difference between individual supply definition and market supply definition is over here it is mentioned by a single seller and over here it is mentioned by all the sellers in the market. Clear? So see, this function is will remain same. QS equals to F. Only PX will change and other thing will remain constant. And similarly over here as well. Okay. Now, this is what we did in the supply definition, market supply definition. Now, individual supply schedule. So, what is schedule basically? Presentation, right? Which shows direct relationship between price and supply by an individual seller and other things being constant. Okay. Or what you can write it like this. It is a tabular presentation which shows, or you can write it like this, other thing being constant. It is a tabular presentation which shows the direct relationship between supply and price by an individual in the individual seller. Here again it is a tabular presentation which shows direct relationship between supply and price by all the sellers in the market. OTB is other thing being constant. Clear? So you will draw a schedule like this. Price is increasing 1, 2, 3, 4. Supply is quantity supply is increasing 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So if price is increasing, along with this quantity supply is also increasing. Over here, what I told you, it is by all the sellers in the market. So let's just assume it is QS1 is seller 1, seller 2, seller 3, and MS is basically market supply. So when you will add 3 plus 1 plus 2, you get 6. 4 plus 2 plus 3, you get 9. 5 plus 3 plus 4, you get 12. 6 plus 4 plus 5, you got 15. So you will check the relationship between price and market supply. So you can see price is increasing, right? And along with this, market supply is also increasing, right? So what is a schedule? Schedule is nothing but a tabular presentation of relationship between price and individual, between price and quantity supply. And over here, it is a relationship between quantity supply and price, but by all the sellers. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girls. Girls, you are not getting it. Okay. Now coming to individual supply curve, or you can say this curve is basically the graph G graph. Okay. So what is this? Now it was a schedule is basically a tabular presentation. The graph will be the graphical presentation, the only difference. So it is a graphical presentation which shows direct relationship. See, definition is going to be same, but you have to change your wordings according to the need. If they are asking you individual supply curve, just write it is a graphical presentation. If they are asking you individual supply schedule, then you have to, it is a tabular presentation. If they are just asking you simple definition of individual supply, then it is a there is a direct relationship with whatever it is. Okay. So you just have to remember one line and the first line you have to change and accordingly you have to make the definitions. So it is a graphical presentation which shows direct relationship between price and supply of a commodity by a single seller and other thing being constant. Okay. And here it is a graphical presentation which shows direct relationship between price and quantity supply by all the sellers, other thing being constant. Okay. See, over here there is no aggregation. Ma'am, what is this aggregation? Aggregation is basically adding. right? In individual supply curve, you are not adding anything. So there is no aggregation as it is quantity supplied by an individual seller. But over here, what we did, we are going to add all this and then you are going to make the market supply. So it is a horizontal summation. Summation means sum up, add up of individual supply curve as it is quantity supplied by all the seller in the market. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is what it looked like. Okay. So first of all, I hope you got the difference between whenever they are asking you to differentiate between individual supply and market supply. First thing you will define it. Second, you will draw the schedule, and then you will draw the graph. That's it. Clear? Okay. So you will write hashtag differentiate between individual supply and market supply. First point. Then the second point, you have to draw the schedule as well. And the third one, this is the graph. So this is basically the supply curve, straight line. But over here, one, seller 2, seller 3, and this is your market supply. So quickly write it down if you are not getting any spelling or any word is not clear to you, right? So you can let me know. I'll just explain you what is it.
Ma'am, in the presentation, it is not necessary that price and the market supply should be equal.
Sorry.
In the presentation, it is not necessary that price and market supply should be same as it is in this presentation.
No, it's not equal. No, nothing like that. It can be different, but the only thing is relationship. Okay? That if price is increasing, market supply should be increasing. That's it. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, no need. It can be like, it can be 4, 5, 6, 7. It can be 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. But remember, it should always increase. It should also always increase and it should always increase. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you scroll down? Ma'am, done.